JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, hi guys, welcome back. As we look back at the major stories of the week, January 15 to 21, nephew on the run after stabbing uncle to death at funeral. A 60-year-old man identified as Marvin Watson, otherwise called Briggy, of Huddersfield, Stortown in St. Mary, was fatally stabbed by his nephew while at his nephew's daughter's funeral at the Whitehall Cemetery in the parish. What started out as a funeral for a 4-year-old girl ended in further tragedy for the St. Mary family. The 4-year-old girl, identified as Akela McLean, the suspect's daughter, died on December 13 from heart complications. Akela was known to have heart problems, but was living a near normal life until she collapsed on her way from school one afternoon. According to the police, about 4 p.m., a dispute developed between Watson and his nephew. Police said during the dispute, a knife was used to stab Watson in his chest. He was rushed to the Port Murray Hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. The nephew, who is said to be in his 30s and allegedly has had several run-ins with the law, has since fled the scene and is being sought. Watson was a construction worker, was a nice and a friendly person. Some family members have since come out calling for jungle justice. So this young man, who's known to the police, probably a violence producer, although Justice Sykes said that they should not be addressed as such, has since killed his 60-year-old uncle and has fled the scene. Now if him bad like what him think, where him run for? I always ask that question. If you're so bad, what make you run after you commit the crime? No picture has been given of this young man, no name has been disclosed, so we don't know who we're looking for. So he might be in our communities and we can't even identify him because we don't know who this young man looks like. So that we can call the police to say, listen, him there in my community, him there next door in the something. But he has killed his uncle, and up until now he has not been found. Nobody has any idea where he is. Gunmen shoot up set fire to businessman's house, occupant saved by cops. Quick action by the St. Catherine South Police prevented bloodshed and possible death on Sunday after the home of a businessman was shot up and set ablaze in Sakuba Pen in the Old Harbour. The businessman was not hurt, the police said. Lawmen have since launched an investigation into the suspected case of arson and shooting. Now, information received is that about 12:15 a.m., the businessman was awoken by a loud noise outside his house. He got up and saw smoke coming through his bedroom window, made checks, and realized that a section of the living room and veranda were on fire. He also heard several explosions sounding like gunshots and was unable to leave the burning dwelling. He managed to summon the police, who arrived and rescued him from the house. No motive has been established for the attack. I have to say kudos to the police officers. This is what you call quick response. So praises be to the Almighty. This man is blessed enough that he was able to tell the tale. A lot of persons have not been so blessed or so lucky that after their house was shut up and set ablaze, that they were able to live and tell the tale. But he's alive and well, and we just have to say thanks to the police officers. Whenever they do anything good, we have to recognize, just like how we cuss them whenever they do anything bad. So kudos to the police officers of the Old Harbour Police Station. Excellent job. Well done. Guys, this was a busy week for the fraud squad. NCB employee Kadeen Thomas charged with fraud found at Knox Community College, and of course, the story that is on everybody's lips, Gene and Panton. So National Commercial Bank employee Kadeen Thomas has been charged with multiple counts of fraud. Thomas was hauled before the courts on Friday to answer charges of defrauding a client who knew and trusted her, is now being investigated in connection with funds missing from 3 additional clients' accounts. The sum initially reported in the first case is almost 5 times the original figure. With this additional information presented during Thomas's first court appearance in the St. Anne's Bay Parish Court, Judge Lorna Montague Williams denied an application for bail and ordered that the 36-year-old woman be remanded until February 2. This, the judge said, would give investigators time to probe the new allegations. Thomas has been employed to NCB for 2.5 years. When the news broke, it had been alleged that the 36-year-old wealth advisor from the bank's Ocho branch stole $30,000 from a customer's account between July and October last year. She reportedly forged the customer's signature on a debit instrument, after which he debited his account and transferred funds to several accounts, including hers. She was charged with larceny and offences under the Cybercrimes Act on Monday, after a question and answer session with detectives from the fraud squad. On Friday, the court was told the missing sum was now $143,000. According to her attorney, Matthew Hyatt, those allegations she strongly denies and maintains her innocence. He intends to make another attempt to have his client released on bail when she next appears in court, which will be on February 2. Thomas, whose head was bowed while exiting the courtroom, wiped what appeared to be tears from her face. Her relatives who were also present appeared quite disappointed with the decision to have her remanded. So 36-year-old Thomas, who has been employed to NCB for 2.5 years, decided that she wasn't getting enough pay. And she wanted some more pretty things, some more expensive things, some more nice things. So she decided to fleece the bank's customers of about 20 million Jamaican dollars, which is like 143,000 US dollars. Now, the first person that she defrauded was a client who knew her and trusted her. Can you imagine? This person have trust in this lady, and this is the payment that they get. Because, of course, bank employees, over the years, decide, say, them nails have to do every week, them ear have to do every week, they must always look flashy, so them living a lie. Putting their hat higher than what they can reach it, wanting to be like me, the Jones. Can you imagine? Them want to be like the Joneses. I am not like the Joneses, but anyway, it's just the name. So imagine now, I don't know about you, but I've seen some of these bank employees, them very, very flashy. Them not want to drive Axio and they don't drive Probox. They want to drive Honda CRV. They want to drive RAV4. They want to drive Range Rover. They want to drive BMW. They want to drive Benz. And them cannot afford to do it. So because they're ready, them decide so they must touch people money. Because while looking at Thomas, we also have to look at Jean and Panton, who has decided now that she's disabled. She has to be moving around a walker and in a wheelchair after she stole billions of dollars from people. Same bank, same investment, same people where anger people money. One time people used to hold up bank. That not happen again because they hold up are going right inside of the bank. People used to dress up in a mask and go hold up bank. That not happen again. Because of the same white collar employees that were in the bank and in the investment firms, I stick them up. I take people hard earned cash, hard earned money. Imagine your work and you decide to make a put on some money for my pension. So many have I live upon government. And when me have to live upon me pitney them because me pitney them now have their life to live. And them look I don't even know if I call them look a chichi foot gala. But decide say they see people money and they think it's too good for them. My money will make work hard for, but it's too good for me. But it's not too good for you. So you can just go in there and just sign up some documents and just take up my hard-earned money. You can imagine? But you know what I hate about all of this? When we see the scammers them, the chopper them, and the maga court, don't say they have an handcuff. Me no say, up to now, Panton, Jean and Panton, because we not have to go back to Jean and Panton's story. Everybody know Jean and Panton's story. Jean and Panton has not been charged. When we saw her on Friday, she was in a wheelchair moving around with a walker, behaving like 75 years old woman. No, this young lady, I see a picture of her because I wasn't at court. And she was going inside of the court without handcuffs. But if it was one look a blue collar criminal, then well handcuff them and police are treat them certain way. But them people are now with thief how much millions from people just walk into court as if them own the place. Can you imagine? I wonder if they put them in the prisoner's dock. Because it is rather strange if they put them in the prisoner's dock. Because them treating them with kid gloves. Millions of dollars them a thief. Not that me no in anything with the chopper them. Because me not like them. Because me feel say if you are work, you must work honestly for what you want. You understand me? But when I want chopper, then well handcuff. Men chop them want put all chains on their foot and carry them in a court. And them sometimes not even take as much money from people as where them people, them women in the bank and the investment firms them take from people. But yet still them just walk in, walls in. Because Kadeen Thomas not have no handcuff. But you know what even worse? The fact that she had family members in court and they were disappointed that she was not given bail. The nerve, the audacity of these people. Can you imagine? So Thomas, when she was arrested, it was believed that the sum that she stole was 30,000 US dollars, which as I said earlier, had climbed to $143,000. Now, I can bet you, said she don't have nothing for show for this. Because she was alright for buy the latest makeup, ear well do, nails well do, and she just a hype and floss by everybody else because her name maybe have been Thomas and Cash. You can imagine, so she don't have nothing for sure for this money where she take. Just like how Jean and Panton not really have much, it seems, for sure for the amount of money that she stole. No, she said that she was taking the money to bury her father. Can we have to mix up it with them in now, you know? Even though it's two different stories, but they are connected, they are interrelated. So she decided that, all right, she's going to bury her daddy. She said. First, she said her father had cancer and she had to send him overseas. Of course, she sent him overseas and she needed US dollars. So she going to people account go take out US dollar. And then she said that he died and she had to pay for his funeral. Me only for gold casket the poor man was buried in. And then her brother attacked her mother and he was placed into care and she had to pay for that. No, the question now is, how is that everybody's problem? When me have my financial problem and you have your financial problem, what we have to do? We have to find a way to work it out if we can, or we have to leave it alone. But she decided that, no man, US dollars me I work with, me have money flashy, my things set like that. She gonna people account go draw their money. But what is so funny about all of this is that she even go draw her daughter money. Because her baby father asked her to invest some money. And she take out money out of the account for her daughter. Because more or less, if the man had more kids or he had only that daughter, the money would have passed on to her. Some of that money would have maybe passed on to her. Or God forbid, in dead is a possibility that it would have been for his daughter. But this woman finger fearing and in eye red. And she decided that she going to take out some money. Now for those persons who have been following this channel. Earlier, or should I say last week, I did a total breakdown of all the persons that she said she stole from. Now, when the story broke, everybody has been talking about Usain Bolt, billions. But on the list, the names that she said she took from, the greatest surprise is that Usain Bolt's name is not there. So we still have to ask the question, who take for Usain Bolt money? Was it the little white man at the top? Not calling anybody's name. Or some of those white men that took the money? Because it is a mystery. Now her home was searched on Friday. She's still out on bail. She has not yet been charged. According to Stephanie Lindsay, the police are still investigating. She's not a flight risk, so she has not been charged. Remember, me tell you, say, for one chopper, when they go down a chopper yard, chopper left in a handcuff, and chopper not thief as much money. Him not chop as much money like where Jean and Panton chop. But Jean and Panton is still out on bail. Living the life. Hiding where she want hide. Transfer she want transfer. If she have nothing at all. Because her neighbors have since come out. Because it has been said on social media that the apartment complex belong to her. Her neighbors have since come out to say, no, go so. Nothing over here so belong to her. As a matter of fact, she's a tenant. And I know that the rent up there so is very, 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 very expensive, and it is quoted in US dollars. So two residences in Millsboro and Avondale were thoroughly analyzed, as the police said, with a view to prefer charges subsequent to the investigations. So I am wondering now, how long is this investigation going to go on? That Panton is still living the good life, still sleeping in a comfortable bed. But before I move on, I was doing a little research. Because that is something I love to do. Now, Jean and Panton's father, I don't know if you have heard that this man was a reverend. He was a Reverend Vivian Panton. He was a chaplain of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Her mother was a distinguished educator, and they had lived in the parish of St. Mary. Now, as I remember an article, somebody said, listen, if her father didn't know the type of man that man was, he would have said, better you make me dead. This woman has brought this grace on the family. Her mother, guidance counselor, retired educator, somebody that was loved, people that were looked up to. So this woman now is going to bring the death of her mother. The father has already passed. And now she will make her mother dead. and won't even be able to attend the funeral, although seeing how slow the investigation is going and not calling down death on the lady. But the amount of pressure that this poor lady must be under right now, an elderly lady, that anything can happen. And Gina and Panton is moving around. Quite alright. So many persons have been defrauded. So many persons don't know their head from their foot. So many persons don't know how they're going to survive a retirement. Because the only way it seems as if they're going to get back their money now is if the money was insured. Because if she has no assets, what am I do? Selling organs? Oh boy, but I'm following up this one. Because as I said earlier in another video, I am heavily invested in this Gina and Panton saga and no Kadeen Thomas saga. But those weren't the only two fraud incidents during the course of this week, as it seems as if COVID are bringing out one new set of thieves. At the Knox Community College, located in Spalding, Clarendon, 5 staff members have been sent on leave following a major fraud investigation. According to a source, the amount stolen is about $60 million, and this was taken from 2 bank accounts. The alleged fraud was discovered last week at a retreat held to plan activities for the new calendar year. The source said $50 million was discovered missing from one account, and then it was picked up that another $10 million had gone missing from another account. Now, the source is saying that it was picked up that the accounts should have had more money. For example, the board makes a decision to give somebody that is sick $100,000 from an account, and the money was paid over to the person. Another check was written to the same person for $630,000, but the person didn't get it. Another check was written to the same person for $630,000, but the person didn't get it, the source added. A statement from the school has since been released, which has the principal's name affixed, and it said, certain irregularities involved in the falsification of a number of checks issued by the college were discovered. The discovery was prompted by a recent call from our bankers seeking to verify 3 checks presented to them on the day, 3 checks with numbers coinciding with ones issued by the college, but apparently altered to reflect greater amounts. Subsequent internal checks revealed that other checks in fact had been paid previously. The school said it then reported the matter to the authorities. Oh boy. But you know what is going to happen? And I can mark my word, a whole heap of other frauds going to turn up. Because something in a Jamaica come like, when something start, it come like you have a trend. And you have some copycats. But I don't remember, over the years, I've remembered, some people defrauding. But since COVID, something drastically seems to have happened to our minds. Because since COVID, we see some of them money or them people are thief and a normal money. I wonder how them brave so. Them people are walking with balls of steel. Them brave. Look out. More banks are going to turn up. If you don't have no money at bank, go check them. Because I think where the banks went wrong was when we no longer have savings. Them look a book there. You remember when we used to have those little books? When we used to go into the bank and if we draw $50, it shows that we withdraw $50 and it means that we have a balance of $200. We no longer have those, we call them look a book there. Right now, the word can't even come to my mouth with the book their name. But you used to have those books that used to show your deposits and used to show your withdrawals. Banks no longer do that. So people can come and go into people's account at will. Because a lot of us are going to the machines to do our withdrawals. We're not going into the bank to check, to see exactly what is happening. And so the banks have now enabled the fraudsters that are inside of there, the thieves that are inside of there, to get into our accounts and to take out whatever they want. That is what is happening. Because you get a statement, which you have to pay for. You got a bank for a statement for your money, you have to pay for it. So there's nothing to show what your transactions are. And for those persons who do accounts, you cannot reconcile your books because where you go check at? This is crazy. And it is all the fault of the banks because them decide, say, all right, we're going to go paperless. We're going to go green. This is what is happening. And how much more of this can Jamaicans endure? Can we continue to suffer? If me have my money And when I'm ready for it, I can't get it. If I have my money put in for children, to deal with health in case something happen, I know it gone. Look how hard Usain Bolt work. When this young man was on the circuit, I heard him say that there are some things that him couldn't eat. There's some places where him couldn't go. He had to get up whatever time at 3 o'clock or something like that, a morning time. If you go out, if you go train. You know how much it take? But somehow I blame him now. You know why? I saw a clipping with him being interviewed by Ian Boyne. When he said that them people uptown bad mind. And he was told by a lawyer to watch him back because they're bad mind. And you go take up your money and go invest with them. You take up your money and post them. What was he thinking? Although I figured that Norman Peart, who was his financial advisor, manager, whatever it was the one who maybe advised him of such. And only to see that Norman Peart's account was also fleeced by Panton. So I'm wondering what type of manager he was that he couldn't even control for him on account, but he wanted to control Usain Bolt billions. It's crazy. But I hope, because the Prime Minister has since come out to condemn, the Minister of Finance has since come out to condemn, and one person has already resigned from the FSC. So I'm hoping that somehow SSC has some assets. The ones at the top, the white one, them at the top have some assets. Hopefully Gina and Panton have some assets that can be sold, or some insurance is there that that the people them can get back their money. Because me I tell you, say if my money did in there, boy, me no know how that go roll. Because me not really and truly go take it so. But thanks be to God, me not have them the kind of money they yet. But very soon, I shall. I'm speaking it into being and being positive that very soon I shall have some of them kind of money there. But I will certainly seem as if, no, I'm going to put it in my mattress. I'm going to dig a hole in my floor. I'm going to put it in there because if police come here and say with too much money, you're in a problem. And if you carry money, go put it in a bank, you're in a problem. So I don't know what we're going to do. But my advice is to dig one hole under your bed. Put one chest in it or something and store your money in it and just fix back a hole under your bed. Because I don't know what else we're going to do in order to make sure that our savings and our investments are secure. But as I said before we move on to the next story, look out. More fraud cases are coming. More thieves are going to be exposed very, very soon. Watch and see. Mark my word. August 7th did say it. Moving on. Student shot by licensed fire molder in St. Thomas. A male student of the St. Thomas Technical High School in Golden Grove, St. Thomas, was shot in the buttocks by a licensed fire molder who was responding to a brawl outside the gates of the institution. According to Deputy Superintendent O'Neill Thompson, who is the operations officer for the St. Thomas Police Division, the wounded youngster was recovered in hospital. Now, it is reported that the licensed fire molder was driving along the main road near the school when he saw a group of boys fighting. He reportedly intervened when one of the boys used a knife to stab at another. The licensed fire molder reportedly discharged his weapon in the ground in a bid to calm the situation. The two boys subsequently fell and he noticed that one was bleeding. He was subsequently rushed to the hospital. Oh boy. Talk truth now. This man, whose intentions are good, end up now being harassed by police officers. Can you imagine? He saw the fight, and as a responsible citizen, he decided that he was going to intervene. And of course, them look up in nowadays, so take telling for nobody. So one of the boys decides I'm going to stab after the other, must stab up the next one. No, this man, you can't see one man, you can't see somebody go stab up somebody and walk, go in there if you try to take knife from him. So him do what him can do, which is pulling license farm, fire one round. Next thing he ricochet, boy get shot right now in body. I'm not even sure which one of them get shot, if it was the one who had the knife or the one was being stabbed at. But I don't know. But this man's intentions were good. And I hope that he will not be facing any charges. Thus warned by the police. Because the shot could have ricocheted and somebody could have died. But his intentions were good. Because them little boy nowadays, then crab it. And the fact that the man intervened might have saved somebody's life on that day, even though the end was not as he had hoped. But I'm just hoping that, of course, as they said, the little boy got a shot to his buttocks and he was recuperating. So hopefully everything will work out for him. And the citizen, well-thinking citizen, who was playing his part, that no charges will be laid against them. And finally, UK resident Michael Brown killed over land. The Manchester police are theorising that an alleged 6-year family dispute over land and houses in the parish is a possible motive for Thursday's shooting death of United Kingdom resident Michael Brown. Brown, 48 years old, otherwise called Jimmy, was killed about 12:20 a.m. while in bed, 4 days after burying his 74-year-old mother. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Shane McCullough said that the police had intervened in the long-standing family dispute over property and houses. Superintendent McCullough said that the dispute stems as far back as 2015 and it involves various properties, not only in Miketown, where Jimmy was killed, but in other areas of Manchester, about 5 houses in total. 2 of Brown's relatives have since been taken into police custody for questioning. So Jimmy came down to bury his mother, only to get himself caught up in this family dispute that has been around from 2015. Now, I don't know what is wrong with people, But when I look back, land is something that there's always a fight over. From in the Bible days, in a Genesis, with the Israelites, them fight the Midianites and all of them people. So, to see that Jimmy come down and get caught up in this, it was really sad. None of us go in a one little, we call it 6x6. I don't really know. We don't call it all of them, put people down when they bury them. That is the most land we care with yourself. Because when they bury you, it's not like some countries where they dig you up back. But you carry that with you. Why is it that we can't live good? Why is it that so many times we have people dying, family members being killed because of houses, land? Because as soon as the story breaks, somebody said, you hear people say, check your family member them. It is sad. Check your family member them because then kill him over land, then kill him over house. As soon as a story breaks that a family member has been killed, then tell if you go check your other family members. So Jimmy come down off a burying 74-year-old mother to lay his mother to rest. And that is the end result. It is said that he had installed a closed-circuit television system to monitor the family property because of the same family dispute. Because a relative said that the mother had to run out naked at one point because of the same dispute. Can you imagine? If only Jimmy just come bury your mother and just leave. Don't even stay there. Bury your mother. You come down for bury your mother. You don't even go there for night. But you go there for your funeral, you bury, and as soon as you come out of the cemetery, you will ride. You go back at the airport or you go on a hotel. Because a lot of times that family members are killed are no strangers. And the same people, them, when come down and give them food for eat, care close to them. I see them people in bad mind. That is why people as I say, listen man, it is nothing feel good like when you have your one. Because if them will give you, it causes war. So it is the best thing is to work hard and buy your one. Because when you buy your one, I feel your name upon the title. Nobody can come tell you to move. Nobody can come in your gate and you let them in. You let them in if you want to. Nobody can pull a gate and walk them in. But when a family land, appear problem. Appear cas. You have some people who come from foreign and they just want to walk in as well because of family land. You have some people who don't here who just want to do as them please because of family land. Nothing nice like when you have the little plot there for yourself. You know, have it big. But if you see problem arise of a family land, walk away and leave it. Because you might be the one that is not fortunate enough. You might be the weakling in the family. And you the more kill over it. So Jimmy came down to bury his mother. And now them have to plan Jimmy funeral. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? He's the second man from the UK now to be killed in weeks. So the people in the UK must be having a ball. That once more, another UK resident has been murdered in Paradise. Once more. Boy, Jimmy, as me say, better you just board a taxi or get a ride. Same time as the funeral done. And you put mama in it and him say, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. You say, alright, mama, me love you, but it's time to go. So if you don't come burn the family member, you know, say, cascas in a go on over land. And problem they did it. Catch your next, take your next, but you go song at your airport until your flight ready the next day. But no grown them, because them are wicked. They laugh with you. And while they laugh with you, they must stab in your back. You hear me say? So poor Jimmy. If only Jimmy had just gone back to England and leave the old nigger them alone, the dirty nigger them alone. Because me don't know how. Look how much house and land. About 5. So how big is that family? One somebody want to live in a 5 house. It was just the other day I was doing a news in Hanover where the man was killed by his nephew over family land because him got tied the cow upon the land and he never said no one no cow upon the land. Shoot the man and go and boy in business. Lord Jesus, something wrong. I say I thought 2023 would have been different. But 2023 seems to be one of the worst years. I hope not. That we ever go face. And nothing, leave no comments. Enough love, blessings, respect as always. And as me always say, keep on your head down. And keep your mouth. Michelle Jones, JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.